80 high school history teachers from around the country are gathering in Rochester this summer to discuss the significance of American reformers and reform movements during the 19th century. Now, through lectures, discussions, and field trips, the educators will refine their knowledge of abolitionism and the women's rights movements, which relied on some way on people and places here in Rochester. The goal, to better convey the first-hand knowledge in their history classes across the country. More now in Chris Coffey's Viewfinder.
Rich Newman and Joe Torrey co-direct the Rochester Reform Trail Workshop. Together, they hope to put Rochester history front and center.
We often think of local history as only important for people in Rochester.
The workshop offers lectures, discussions, and field trips which highlight abolitionism and the women's rights movement.
We had people applying from Texas and California and Minnesota and Ohio. Mount Hope Cemetery is important for another reason. This is one of the And now that they're here, they're telling us that every year they do textbook units on Frederick Douglass, Susan B. Anthony, the Erie Canal.
All right, there we go.
They could learn about significant American reform movements through a place that they don't know a lot about.
The way I remember it is basically near the light. So
they're really excited to bring back pictures from the Frederick Douglass gravesite or pictures from an Erie Canal boat tour because it'll really enhance their teaching.
There it is. Note the flags right off the bat.
Touring an historic cemetery might not be a typical student's choice for a field trip, but these educators were visibly moved by the experience.
We're hoping that by actual physical contact with places and sites that these events took place in, that they'll have a better understanding of it.
To the great Frederick Douglass, may he rest in peace and always.
Even some teachers from our own state are discovering Rochester for the first time.
Having pictures of me at Frederick Douglass's grave, brings that home. Hey, here I am. Listen, books are wonderful, but just being in the place, getting the feel is just really crucial and important.
Yeah, so make sure you get the actual Anthony gravesite right there.
When Rich approached the National Endowment for the Humanities for sponsorship, they told him they had been waiting for someone in Rochester to spearhead a Reform Trail program.
You go around the country and you see that Boston, Philadelphia, New York City, they have these great reform trails or trails dedicated to the American Revolution. So what we wanted to do was make sure that Rochester was on that map. And his name shall live forever.
And for those high school students in places like Texas, California, and Minnesota, they now have a direct link to our community.
They need to know that Rochester was a really important place for some of the freedoms and liberties that they have today. Yeah, we are set, my friend. Thank you. If we don't teach people about Rochester's importance, they're going to forget it.
The Rochester Reform Trail Workshop is sponsored by the National Endowment for the Humanities and co-hosted by RIT and SUNY Brockport. Local teachers are also eligible. For more information, you can follow the link on the Viewfinder page on our website, rochester.ynn.com.